Potatoes gon' potate, taters gon' tate, and haters gon' hate.
Today, I'm going to go visit the Shofuso Japanese House and Garden in Philadelphia. So, the Shofuso Japanese House and Garden is exactly what it sounds like it is. It's a Japanese style house built inside of a Japanese garden, so the Japanese garden surrounds it. It was first built in Japan in 1953 and then transported over to New York City. It transferred over to Philadelphia in 1958 and has been here ever since. It's $9 if you have your student ID if you're a college student. However, I bought my ticket online and I just bought the $9 ticket, and when I got there and I showed them my ticket and they scanned it, they didn't ask me for my ID. It's $14 for adults, free for Philadelphia high school students. I think it's pretty worth it, especially for $9. That's really cheap compared to the Portland Japanese Garden, which is $18.95 for adults and $15.25 for students with the ID. But that garden is bigger than this garden, so I guess it kind of balances out. If you want to visit Shofuso, it's open Wednesday through Sunday, 11 to 5 p.m. through October 30th. And Saturday and Sunday, 10 a.m. to 4 p.m. from November 5th to December 11th. So their times are a little different, but I guess it's changed based on seasons. But let's go check out this garden. So I am kind of just walking in the middle of nowhere, but I decided to take the route that only makes me pay for the bus one time versus paying for two different buses. So I just have to walk 18 minutes now. Please Touch Museum. I wanted to go, but I read it's mostly for kids, so I haven't gone. Well, I guess I just walked down this sidewalk and bumped into this sign, and there's this little trail, so I guess it's this way. So I'm not even in yet, but I see it from the outside and it looks so good. Wow, it's gorgeous. I also love that I see Japanese people here dressed up in kimonos, and I think it's also because the cherry blossoms are blooming, and I literally saw a girl like taking a picture with the cherry blossom tree. So I think it's also for the cherry blossom festival, touching on their Japanese culture, which is highly tied to Japanese cherry blossoms. So it warms my heart. So when entering the Shofuso house, you have to take off your shoes in order to show respect to the house and not get the floors dirty. And when you walk in, you see these screen doors that are seen in typical traditional Japanese houses. This room had multiple objects and installations placed inside of it. You'll see a traditional Japanese stringed instrument called a koto, a nice view outside towards the garden, and these murals which were made by Hiroshi Senju called waterfalls that were inspired by the garden. The rocks placed in the water are supposed to symbolize mountains and islands, similar to how Japan is mountainous and made up of multiple little islands. The chain that you see on the side is for rain drainage, so when it rains, the water from the gutter drips down that chain and creates a nice sound. This is a minka, an old farmhouse style kitchen. You'll see 3 big pots. The one on the left was used for making soup, the one in the middle for stir fry, and the one on the right for rice. These basins were also used to collect water. So I do know that this was used in order to wash your hands and cleanse yourself. I'm not sure what this was used for, and they probably had water down in here. They also have ikebana all over the place, and I forgot to look for them, but this is one of them. Look how pretty. Wow. And so this is inside of the tea house. Look how short it is also. Look. I'm so close to hitting the top. The windows are like super thin because they're paper. And then look how short this is. And there's a reason why they have the entrance to the tea house so short, because it makes everyone bow and it's supposed to humble everyone. It shows that everyone is equal because you have to bow to get in. No one is above anyone else. So there's multiple aspects to a tea house. One is the small door frame. 2 is this has coal typically inside of it to heat up the space. But 3, some kind of writing that signifies springtime and the tea house. 4 is the ikebana. And then 5, of course, would be the tea itself. So this is another tatami room. It's called shoin, which is like the study or multi-purpose room. It was used for dining, for sleeping, for entertaining guests. There is more of these murals, the waterfall murals by Hiroshi, and you can spot the ikebana back there next to the window. So in ikebana, there's a typical style called moribana, where instead of the base being tall, it'll be wide and shallow. And you will see that the branches, there'll be lots of branches or stems, as well as a few leaves and blossoms and some flowers, and they'll make 3 points because they'll be at varying heights, a tall, medium, and short height that will end up making that triangle shape. So you'll typically see them more to create form and not to be crowded. Koi fish are a type of Asian carp, and they come in multiple color varieties, but the most popular in Japan are white, red or orange, and black. The white and red signify the colors of the Japanese flag, and they're grown in huge ponds. They're literally longer than my forearm and way fatter. So I was walking up this way, and you can see this spot from there, and I was standing like, I don't know, I was standing like somewhere right here, and like right over there, right over there, I saw like this couple, and the guy was like talking to her like super, like it seemed serious, and he was like holding on to her, like just put his arms around, like her arms like reached out and was like talking to her, and it was like really sweet. I was like, oh no. I was like, is something important happening? Like, is he about to propose to her? And then all of a sudden he scoots back and gets down on one knee, and I literally went, oh no, out loud, and I stepped back and I walked all the way up to there so that I could be fully out of the way. But for a split second I was like, what if I pull out my phone and quickly take some photos of them? But I didn't, because like it could have been weird, could have turned out weird, but like I was like, I literally can catch this moment right now in her exact reaction to getting proposed to. And I kind of wish I did, because if they would have gotten mad at me, like, oh well, but like at least in the end they would have had photos, and I think they would have appreciated it later on. But I didn't. But afterwards I let them kind of like decompress a little. They were like all happy. She was like, oh my god, and she was like, they hugged for a while. She was trying not to cry, and then I walked up and I was like, do you want me to take photos for you? I literally saw the whole thing, and I didn't know if I should like walk away or stay. And then he was like, yeah, please. And then I took photos for them, and I was like, oh, congratulations. And then this other couple walked up and they're like, did they just get engaged? And I was like, yeah, I literally saw the whole thing. Presented to the people of Philadelphia by Oizo Takayama, mayor of Kyoto, 1959. So there's things that you can buy at the garden. Starting from the left, in the back there's Japanese bento boxes. Then there's different cups and mugs that you can drink from. They also have a matcha set where they have a chawan, which is the matcha bowl, and the chasen, which is the matcha whisk. They have a whole bunch of different chopsticks and chopstick holders, sake sets, and incense holders. They also have neko gamaguchi, which is cat coin purses, as well as daruma dolls, which are related to Zen Buddhism. They have fans, and also koinobori, which are fish, kites, or flags that are flown on Children's Day, representing strength. Also, when you walk through an entrance like this, you're not supposed to step on that, which I just did when I walked out, and then I reminded myself you're not supposed to, you're supposed to step over it. So yeah, that was a Japanese garden. Hope you guys liked it, and stay tuned for my next video.